What is something you passionately hate and can complain about in length? When my mom would call my name and when I yelled, "What?" she wouldn't respond. For my mom, yelling my name meant I had to come there and not yell back. She's not going to dignify yelling with a response. Which fucking sucks because I'm not a fucking dog. You can't just scream at me to come to you. I'm a fucking human being. Treat me with some goddamned respect. You old bitch. Edit. I really hope this comes across as funny yelling angry. Not actually angry. Everything about the American health insurance industry. It's beyond me how anybody can see value in these blood-sucking middlemen, whose entire purpose is to turn a profit by denying people medical care when they need it. I could go into detail about the many ways I have suffered at the hands of them, but it's wasted effort. Everybody has a story, whether it's being surprise charged the equivalent of a car down payment for talking to a doctor for 5 minutes, or being told a life-threatening condition isn't covered. We all have a story, or know somebody that has one. I believe the vast network of lobbyists, executives, and government officials responsible for upholding this system are some of the most evil people on the planet. They perpetuate a cycle of soft eugenics, levied against our poor, sick, and disabled, mostly people who had no choice, who did nothing wrong but be born into the wrong place at the wrong time. The evil they commit is spread out because of the corporate veil and the lack of a central authority to point to. No one person can be blamed for the deaths they all collectively cause in the name of profit. You can't exclusively blame the bottom-level insurance-adjusting grunt that denied Granny's claim appeal over the phone. You can't exclusively blame the pharmacy that charges absurd sums for medicine that's cheap everywhere else. You can't exclusively blame any congressman or president or lobbyist, because they're all patting each other on the back in a giant, unbroken incestuous circle, which they're thrown out of if any one person dares to resist. Is it any wonder that of the two presidential candidates we can now choose from, neither of them offer any significant change in our healthcare system? This system is evil. It treats us more like breakfast cereal consumers than human beings. We aren't dealing with choosing Raisin Bran or Frosted Flakes. We're dealing with people's lives. These filthy pigs are directly playing market games with human life. The kicker, though, a sizable portion of our population has been convinced that this is a good system. Here you will reliably find that these people haven't yet had the bad fortune to need to deal with a complex medical issue, with the complex billing that goes along with it, and once they do, as I have personally witnessed in my own social circles many times, they invariably grow to hate the system as I do. As heartening as that is, it's extremely depressing that we have such a deficit of empathy in this country that it takes a near-death experience to change a mind on something so basic. This ensures that the system will harm as many people as possible before it's struck down. I hate health insurance companies so much. I regret I have but one upvote to give this post. Friends, family who can never to get anywhere on time. It's understandable if it's once or twice, but not every time. I've complained to the point there is no point anymore. I just don't associate myself with them anymore. My best friend is like this. And it's not like he doesn't care. He just doesn't understand how time works. He'll check Google Maps and it'll give him an ETA of 10 minutes. So he'll leave with exactly 10 minutes to spare. He isn't thinking about possibly hitting every red light, or traffic, or needed to get gas, or having to find parking, or the time it takes to walk from the car. None of that. Willful ignorance. I have a buddy like this. I tried to talk about things I saw on the news and he said, "That's all sad bullshit." That's why I refuse to ever pay attention to any of it. Okay man, stay blind. I pay attention to global events, but I'm depressed enough as is without wanting to talk about what new horrible thing just happened while I'm with my friends. I've got problems enough. Let's just do this fun thing without bringing up any of the sad things. I'm not trying to be blind, but sometimes I just want to sit back and not be bothered by anything for a little bit. People who get into the passing lane and drive the same fucking speed as everyone around them so no one can actually fucking pass anyone. Corollary. People who tailgate me when I'm driving the speed limit in the slow lane. There are 2 lanes just for you assholes. Quit riding my bumper. Being tailgated bothers me more than slow drivers in the left lane tbh. I'd rather be a few minutes behind schedule than get rear-ended at highway speeds. Fucking phones are too goddamn big these days. They don't fit in my tiny woman hands and they don't fit in my tiny woman pockets. I want a goddamn phone and fits in one goddamn hand. I have an iPhone SE and I use a T9 keyboard so that I can text with one hand. It's amazing. Fantastic. It's a goddamn miracle. I hold my SOS Pixel 3 and my thumb can reach 20% of the screen. How fucking stupid is that? I don't want to buy a goddamn ugly, inconvenient pop socket so I can hold my goddamn phone in one hand. That's insane. Does no one else see how insane that is? To have a phone that you need 2 hands to hold? What the fuck? How are we allowing this to happen? Me Too is cool and all, but I am being fucking discriminated against right now for my fucking hand pocket size. It makes me so furious. Why are we not fucking talking about this? Stop making phones bigger. Oh my fuck. How fucking hard is that? Jesus Christ. I just want to hold it in my fucking hands. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Greater than they don't fit in my tiny woman pockets. One of the many reasons why I wear men's pants at work. The pockets are so deep they go halfway down my thigh. Being vague. Can you be more specific? Can you elaborate? Yes. Will you elaborate? If you want. All of the plot holes in the Jurassic Park World franchise. Seriously, that series should have ended at Lost World. The movie ends with a T-Rex rampaging through San Diego and eating at least one person alive. There's no way, if that happened in real life, that the park would have allowed it to be built. I saw Lost World and subsequent films about the sunk cost of Jurassic Park. Hammond invested probably tens or hundreds of millions of dollars into it and England kept trying to recoup those losses. I hate that 2015's equivalent to Dr. Ellie Sattler was a frigid businesswoman with a straight bob, who gets lectured by her big sister about career versus children. The cost of diamonds. You can go mining at Y level 12. It's easy! Exclamation mark. There is no need to buy a diamond ever, except industrial uses like shaping carbide inserts. I've heard they're not as rare as they are said to be. But wouldn't the demand for it now, regardless of how said demand came about, keep the price high regardless? The cost and value is inflated by marketing. Bad pet owners, especially the ones who ruin their animal's natural diet, for example giving their cat just vegetable instead of meat. They're just asking to kill their animals. I just really don't understand that mindset. They say they're vegan because they care about animal welfare, but they're happy to abuse an animal and potentially kill it by feeding it the wrong diet. Either put aside your veganism for the well-being of your pet or get a vegan pet like a rabbit or something. It's not that hard. Agreed. A friend once told me the reason animals in the wild, lions, panthers, hyenas etc., eat other animals is because they don't know better. Yes, they do actually. Old men flirting with young girls at their jobs. Don't get me started. Old women flirting with young guys too. Quite disgusting. Absolutely. I was a little too specific because of something I witnessed this morning, but it's all awful. Harassing people when they're forced to be polite and can't leave the situation. Can't stand it. The expectation that people have to respond to your text or emails right away in order to be a good friend, partner, family member, etc. Like fuck. Sometimes I just want to leave my phone in another room and live in the moment. Sometimes I'm so engrossed in something that I don't want to be looking at my phone. Sometimes I just don't feel like talking. There's so much emphasis on being left on read, or screened, or whatever these days. Like someone doesn't actually care about you if they do these things. It's so much pressure. It's so much time spent glued to your phone. If you have something urgent you need to address, call someone and leave a message. But for the love of all things good, please understand that people need their own time and space, and aren't going to want to be in constant contact. The lack of adequate sexual education in U.S. schools. If you don't teach kids about sex, birth control, their bodies, consent, or the benefits and harms of porn, you can't then be all mad about abortions, rape culture, or porn addictions. It boggles my mind that people don't get that. Absolutely agree. America is overpopulated by irresponsible adults who produce children constantly because they have no education. American education systems don't teach about sex. They try and make you scared of STDs and drugs to a counterproductive effect. I remember walking into a health class about STDs and I didn't even know what a period is. Sex isn't something to be afraid of, and it isn't something to take lightly either, but schools seem to treat it like it's one or the other. People who are mean to waitstaff. I hope hell is real just for them. Toxic communities. I play a lot of different tabletop RPGs like Dungeons & Dragons, and I especially love the World of Darkness * setting *. I specifically love the setting because the community are nutjobs. The setting contains multiple games and each player bases its own brand of whack job. * The vampire players are edgy, mental illness-ridden pessimists. * The werewolf players are the very definition of toxic masculinity, and one friend of mine defends having a girl's character be made into a sex slave by her family because it made sense to the setting. * The mage players are the most pretentious people ever. The game is about philosophy and they love to be all elitist because they play the thinking man's game. * The changeling players are all those freakly furries and cosplayers that no one wants to talk to. * The wraith players play a game about being a hopeless being of despair because they feel like hopeless beings of despair, and all of them are convinced their game is objectively better than all the other games. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.